Our Style Squad tackles all sorts of stories in the news, and here to weigh in on some hot button topics, our relationship expert T.C. Brantley, business and marketing expert Diane Griselle, and fitness guru Tom Holland. Guys, thanks so much for being here.
This
is going to be fun. Let's go with some entertainment news right off the bat.
Yes.
We're talking about Tom Cruise, and Katie Holmes. They recently divorced, and it seems like we're seeing a lot of Suri, their daughter, out and about.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
It's not a coincidence. I mean, they're trying to get the exposure, but again, they're trying to have some normalcy, but I think it's a PR move, and I think it's not going to work at all.
I do think if you're a high-profile celebrity and you're going for a divorce and you want to win the court of public opinion, which is what PR is all about.
That's true.
You are trying to get everyone
Right.
to agree with whatever position or opinion you have. You know, I just really, as TC said, I really hope the child has a sense of normalcy because it's a very difficult situation in a divorce
And maybe
for
that's
children.
what they're doing. They're just spending time mother-daughter. Could that be?
No, because
Okay.
absolutely
not, Teresa.
No, because everything in Hollywood is about seeing, it's about exposure and all that stuff, and also the word Suri means rose. So she's beautiful, but there are thorns, and I believe her parents are. Tom especially is a thorn.
Tom, do you think we're making the media might be making a big deal out of this? Are you sick of the story yet?
Well, I heard that there's vans parked outside her. You know, the Scientologists are supposedly following her around, so I'd rather not talk about this. I don't want them angry with me.
But I do think it's entirely media overexposure.
Yes.
I really
Yes.
don't care what goes on in Tom or Katie's life.
Yeah.
You know, make good movies, make good TV shows,
Right.
and
Entertain us.
Yes,
That's really what you do.
and raise that daughter carefully.
Raise her, protect her.
All right, speaking of relationships, a National Sleep Foundation study found that 25% of couples sleep in separate rooms.
No,
You got to have a problem with this.
No, you cannot do that and be in a relationship. I don't care if you're snoring. I don't care if you sleep without the baby. No, you have to spend time with each other in the bedroom at the same time, because if you don't, there's no reevaluation of your love and your affection as a couple.
Oh,
You gotta
I
disagree
don't
with
know
me.
about that.
No.
Intimacy takes place everywhere.
It
There's
does.
Valid point.
another study about intimacy that actually says married couples are much more creative in where they experience their intimacy.
understand
So
that,
maybe
but-
it's not in the
No,
bedroom because
no,
they are well rested
No,
from a good night's
No, you
sleep.
still need the bedtime. You still need that time to be with each other. Speak, Tom, speak.
Don't you need a little...
I'm pushing for king-size bunk beds in my
No.
house. Yeah, no, I need
mean,
my
why do you
sleep.
like it? You prefer... I mean, you have to get a good night's sleep.
Exactly.
And when you're grumpy, nobody's getting anything.
So we know the
Understand,
difference.
but that's
He's the
problem,
snorer.
though.
That's the
problem
difference.
is that they're grumpy and they're not getting enough loving. That's why they're grumpy.
I mean,
Or
what
maybe
kind
they're
of
grumpy
example?
from lack of sleep.
That could be.
No.
Are you setting, though, if your kids are seeing that?
Well, again, if your kids are seeing that, that's not powerful, because again, you're trying to show a unit. You're trying to show that you're together. And when you're, all right, my daddy is sleeping now in the daughter's room, or mommy's sleeping in the son's room, that doesn't work, and it will not work. I don't care what you
Typically,
say.
it's for a fight, right?
Historically, when marriage had much less divorce than it did today,
Right.
separate bedrooms were the norm. I mean, in Rome, the marital bedroom was only for one thing, and it was not sleeping.
I understand, but again, they all slept in the same room. Didn't have 5 rooms, all slept in the same room, and mommy and daddy still slept in the same bed. That's how they got kids.
No,
Now-
Lucy and Ricky, didn't they sleep in 2 separate beds in the 50s?
But that's why they got divorced.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I guess
Yeah.
it proved the point there.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here. Relationships to friendships, a new study that researchers say may help combat obesity in teenagers. The research says teens were more likely to be overweight if they hung out with friends who were heavier than they were. Tom, what do you think about that?
You want to be around people that make you feel good about yourself. So that's the unfortunate thing, right? Is that, and I think it swings both ways. It's not only the overweight people, tend to hang out with one another, but the people with eating disorders and.
Oh, Tom. Tom. This is,
Right.
in my opinion, an extremely prejudiced, dangerous kind of study. It is, kids can be mean enough with each other. They don't need to hear, oh, my friend's a little pudgy, so I shouldn't hang out with them. I should only hang out with the skinny kids. This is totally out of line. It has nothing to do with anything. Habits can pass on. So what we need to do is strictly take information like that and look at the bigger picture and say, get moving.
Right. But I think what they're saying is you tend to hang out with people that are like yourself.
Yeah,
But
but
I disagree. I
but-
have heavy friends and I have slim friends.
but-
and you know what? My body's the same either way.
But
And I
Diane-
walk with my heavy friends and I
Diane?
exercise them.
Diane. But the point is, let's go a level lower, that maybe this is comfort food that these kids are going through because their parents are maybe going through a divorce. So that's a whole other issue right there, is that as the parents are going through their thing or their cycle of trying to get through, the kids may be doing it their way as well.
I think, as you say, TC, there's a much bigger
There's a
picture
much
in a
bigger picture
study
of that,
like
yes,
this.
yes.
But to alienate
Got
kids
it,
and
got
say,
it.
I'm not hanging out with them because I don't
But
want to
I
get
don't think that's what it says at all.
Obesity is not contagious.
Well,
it's
maybe
not.
they're hobbies,
But
though.
it's
Maybe
sociocultural. I think it's just what it's saying is, you're tend to go to McDonald's with, you don't feel comfortable going out at lunchtime with, your friends who are super skinny if you want to eat more. And we know that people who eat more, that's why they weigh what they do. So I think you're right, but I think what this is saying, the way I read it, was just that obviously people who weigh more tend to hang out with people who weigh more.
But we
see, 'cause-
still need to have personal responsibility.
I don't know if
True
I would hang
indeed.
out with you, Tom, because I feel like you eat a lot really healthy, and I don't eat all that healthy. I'd be almost intimidated.
Well, that's what I say. When I walk around in my hometown, when I'm at the supermarket, women run
Looking
away
like
from
that.
me. They run away from me because they don't want me to see what's in their cart. So they tend to hang out with one another. But no, I think you're absolutely right. But I think, and that's the thing, I think when we mingle, we learn from one another. I
Correct.
got in shape by hanging around with people who I wanted to look like. And I learned from them. So
Right.
when I was younger, I said, I think that person's healthy. What are they doing?
Yeah,
So
that's good osmosis right
yeah.
there. That's good
So I think
osmosis.
it's dangerous to have everybody stick together. And
All right.
obviously,
Let's
what you're saying
let's
is
move
great.
on. We're talking about some skeletons in the closet now. Porn
Oh,
stars.
yes.
Here's what's going on in Virginia. An ex-porn star by the name of Harmony Rose,
Mm-hmm.
29 years old, kind of turned her life around and decided to become an EMT. But
Yes.
the town is upset about it. They don't want her on the squad.
I don't know why, because everybody has a skeleton in their closet. Some of them have even meat on the bone. So everyone has a skeleton, but it's not the people, it's the people that she works with. So come on, guys, get with it. She's changed her life around. Let's go with it and take it from there. Is that right, Tom?
I know if I, go under and wake up in the ambulance, that's fine with me.
Oh, wait a second.
Obviously.
Pornography is not acceptable.
Wait, she made
Pornography is
terrible
not
decisions,
acceptable,
you know?
and she made
She made a decision to
absolutely,
change.
Teresa. But at the same time, David Lee Roth from Van Halen went off and was working in the ambulance squads and the
True did.
paramedics
True
in
did.
Brooklyn.
True did.
And I'm not comparing him to a porn star, but
I'd rather be taken care of by
nobody was
porn stars
complaining
than
about
with
that.
her
It
than with
became
David Lee
just
Roth.
more fodder for the media and something to talk about.
But isn't the thing called a rescue? This woman said, the lifestyle is not good, it's not productive, so let me go do something that's productive. And so she's a rescuer. So she rescues herself, now she's going to rescue others. I have no problem with
I
that.
don't know. Your past comes back to haunt you sometimes. That's why you have to worry about the
It
decisions
does
you
come
make.
back, but here's the key: is that she's working through her past, and guess what? That's America. We work through our past, and we
All
become a
right.
better person.
I'll give her,
Thank you very
give her a
much.
shot.
Thank
She's
you
not,
very much.
Helping me out. Moving along, in Utah, a man uses his obituary to confess to all the bad things he did. He said he never went to college after
Mm-hmm.
he told everybody he did. He said he stole a safe back in the 70s.
Yep.
Is this the time to come clean? What do you think?
I have to say, I hope it doesn't become a new trend.
Okay.
Yes.
Because it would be very hard to believe other people, to believe anyone about anything.
Right.
I think that's what religion's for. Whatever kind of a religion, whether it's you go see your rabbi, your priest, or whoever, your monk.
Or your pastor. Yeah.
That's your pastor.
Yeah.
Go see someone.
Right.
That's where confessions are made. But to start making this a public trend, wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It is fun, though, how we did it.
Yeah, exactly. The posthumous.
I mean, it was
confession.
fun, but the thing about it is that guilt probably got to him, and guilt can be in a good way or in a bad way. Guilt in a good way says, you know what, let me tell somebody about it. Guilt in a bad way is that, you know what, I hold this pain, this animosity that what I've done. So, yes, I do agree. I don't want it to be a new trend, but the same point is that he did confess it to his wife. So he did tell somebody, but he didn't tell the world, which he should have done before.
I don't know. Take it to the grave at that point. Your whole reputation changes, and people think different of you, and you're dead. You can't defend yourself.
And not only that, it's an embarrassment to all the people
Good point.
that
True.
supported that person their
True.
whole life
True.
and spoke highly of that person's
But
credentials.
isn't that America? We're trying to be something that sometimes we're not. I mean, we're trying to do the camouflage that we're not. I'm just...
All
Well,
right,
in
Style
this-
Squad. We are out of time. I want to thank you all for being here. Tom, Diane, TC.
Thanks for having
Always a
us.
pleasure. We'll do this again.
Thank you.
All right. Come